Have you seen these three figures before? Keep watching till the end to know why they appear in our today's video. Now listen to this incident, the milk mystery that happened in 1921 in England. When milk was delivered and left at the doorsteps, someone was opening the caps and stealing all the cream at the top. At first, local youth and thugs were suspected, but the phenomenon started spreading all over the country and the European continent. No one was sure who was behind this act. Eventually, however, the culprits were identified. Blue tits, a group of birds, were opening the tops of the bottles and skimming off the best part of the unhomogenized milk. So basically, what was happening was that they were imitating. Birds learned from other birds skimming the cream, and the behavior spread all over the continent. Did you visit a zoo to see chimpanzees or see monkeys at tourist sites? They open bottle caps of juices, they drink with straws, they tear open a chips packet and imitate many things learned from humans, from facial expressions to gestures to actions. If animals and birds are capable of imitating, how much more are we humans learning through observing? Albert Bandura is famously associated with observational learning theory, and it is much more complex than simple imitating or copying. Keep watching this video to learn about an important experiment conducted in social psychology by Albert Bandura. Observational learning includes 4 steps: attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. First, we must focus and pay attention to what the model is doing. The model is someone who performs the behavior, whom we observe and learn from. Next, we must be able to retain or remember what we observed. This is retention. Then, we must be able to perform the behavior that we have observed and remembered. This is reproduction. Finally, we must have the motivation. We need to want to copy the behavior, and whether or not we are motivated depends on what happened to the model when he or she performed that behavior. If we saw that the model was being reinforced or rewarded for the behavior, we will be more motivated to copy him or her. On the other hand, if we observed the model being punished, we would be less motivated to copy him or her. So, observational learning is not just simply copying the behavior, but it includes these complex steps. It can happen with any age group, but most commonly it happens with children. Now, Bandura said that there are 3 types of models: live, verbal, and symbolic. A live model is physically present, and we observe the model as he or she demonstrates a behavior in person. Example, a dance teacher demonstrates the dance steps to the students. A verbal instructional model does not demonstrate the behavior, but instead explains or describes the behavior. For example, a parent explaining to a child to stand up and wish the teacher good morning when she enters the classroom. A symbolic model can be fictional characters or real people who demonstrate behaviors in books, movies, television shows, video games, or internet sources. Examples would be when children or teenagers imitate the behavior of their favorite hero or character on screen. Bandura researched on the modeling behavior and conducted the famous Bobo doll experiments in social psychology. Bobo doll experiment refers to a series of experiments between 1961 and 1963. A Bobo doll is an inflated doll which, when pushed or punched or kicked, immediately bounces back to a straight position. So now in this experiment, what had happened was 2 groups of children observed an adult with a Bobo doll. One group saw him punching, kicking, shouting abuses at the doll, and even using a hammer to hit the doll. Second group observed an adult calmly playing with blocks and other toys in a non-aggressive manner, leaving the Bobo doll alone. Later, the researchers created frustration in the children and wanted to see how they would behave. Those who saw the violent model behaved in the same way when placed in a room of toys and Bobo doll. They performed the same behaviors of punching, kicking, abusing, and even using the hammer, while those who observed the non-aggressive model played with other toys and didn't touch the Bobo doll. Also, in another experiment, when children saw the model being rewarded for his violent behavior, they also performed the violent act. But those children who saw the model being punished and reprimanded didn't perform the behavior, though they had observed and learned it. This shows that motivation plays an important role in reproducing the observed behavior. Some examples of observational learning in daily life are a child taking a broom to sweep, folding washed clothes, talking over the phone. All these behaviors have been learned by observation from an adult. A newer employee avoids being late to work after seeing a co-worker fired for being late. Another example, a viewer watches a new hairstyle on YouTube and tries out the same later. Some more examples, children learning facial expressions from adults, an adult learning a new culture like eating with hand or eating with chopsticks by observing another. Observational learning can influence positive or negative behaviors. It can be pro-social or anti-social. Adults and parents reading books instead of watching TV or phones, playing an instrument or cultivating a hobby, going to the gym and taking active interest to stay physically fit will encourage our young ones to do the same. Same way, we can cultivate even behaviors of kindness, generosity, humility, forgiveness, and other virtues in children. If we act out anger by abusing and hitting, our child would learn to do the same. It's been found that many children who have been abused become abusers when they grow up. Same goes with smoking, drinking, and other unhealthy lifestyles. So, we must remember that children do what they see us doing more than what they hear us tell them to do. So now, coming to these three figures. 1. See no evil. So, if we watch good things on TV, internet, etc., so will our children learn to see good quality, educative content. 2. Speak no evil. If we speak good words and not gossip or abuse or slander, so will our children learn to speak good things about others. 3. Hear no evil. And if we hear good and refuse to hear bad about others, so will our children learn the same. They will observe and learn from us. I hope the Stone of Help video would reach out and be helpful to you and those around you. Please do subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't yet, and do continue to encourage us. Thank you and have a nice day. This is Lucy Lenora Edwin, psychologist and educator, signing off.